2021 has been nothing short of spectacular for WagerTalk co-founder Marco D'Angelo. Marco is the #1 handicapper at WagerTalk in both money won at a 59% bankroll increase and winning percentage of 62.5%. Marco is on an insane run of 25-5 with his plays over the past weeks for 83% winners. Right now, Marco has a sweetheart of a deal for you. Buy a 30-day all-access package for the regular price of $349, and Marco will give you an additional 30 days of all access for free. To redeem this offer, just go to WagerTalk.com. Choose Marco in the experts dropdown and lock in 60 days of picks for the price of 30. This sweetheart deal ends at midnight on Valentine's Day.
All right, here we go, guys. Now, February the 4th. Welcome in on this Thursday. It's another edition of the College Basketball Tip-Off Show, powered by WagerTalk.com. Love the card here today. A lot of interesting matchups, a lot of pivotal, that's a hell of a word, pivotal. Don't even listen. It's been a long damn morning already. Bottom line is we got 4 games that we got to cover for you here, plus we got our best bets and a look at our friends at the Gold Sheet. But we're going to start in at Ohio State in the Big Ten, taking on Iowa, Minnesota, Rutgers as well, Arizona taking on the southernly hot Utah team, and Cincinnati. Finally, I didn't even know they were playing basketball anymore. Cincinnati back playing Temple here tonight. Let's take a look at the gang if we can here. We are graced here today, guys, with none other than Marco D'Angelo, who hasn't lost since 1986. He's with us here today. Dave Koken, coming off another spectacular evening there last night. He's with us, and we welcome back after a man tried to take a nap yesterday. We wouldn't let him. His name is Ralph Michaels. He's downstairs. He's ready to rock and roll here, guys. Real quick look at their Twitter handles. This is how you can follow them, and make sure you do. Always some great information there. Marco in Vegas, at Dave Koken, at Cal Sports LV. And Marco, welcome back, my man. I know you were away for a little while last week. Good to have you back, but that streak you are on is just... congratulations. That's about all I can say. Been very profitable for you and your clients.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that, Joe. It's been a fun 2021, and I don't know. I guess it's because it's 21, the year 2021. My favorite baseball player of all time wore that number, so I'm trying to see if I can put up some kind of numbers like him. And that, of course, Pittsburgh fame would be the great Roberto Clemente.
I thought you were going to say Andy Slight, but that's all right. Close enough. We're good. A little Andy Van Slyke there. Dave, congratulations. Great night last night. I know you got a best bet tonight in the NHL. You are #1, by the way, at Wager Talk in the NHL. You are crushing it this year in 2021 as well. But what else you got going on up there tonight?
3-pack in college basketball, which is doing okay. Those normally would be $25 each. But I packaged them together, and you get all 3 plays for $29. So that's a nice discount, and I think there's a real good chance of a winning night.
Love that. All right, guys, make sure you get, of course, go see Marco. He does have a 5% play up as well tonight on his page. You got Dave at WagerTalk.com. Dave Koken's page, also 3 plays, $29 tonight in college hoops. And Ralph, how's it going, my man? We missed you yesterday. How was your night? What do you got going on today for us?
Well, Marco, thanks for bringing up 21, because as an Indians fan, I was so excited to have Francisco Lindor around for his entire career. Oh, no, that's right. I'm in Cleveland. He makes too much money. Let's trade him. So my favorite 21 from Cleveland. Off a 3-2 night, Dave and I had the same play, a loser on Wichita State. So a double brutal play, but college basketball continues to rock. I have 5 college plays today, all in one package. One of them is a split play where I have 2 units on the first half, 2 units on the full game. So really it's like 4 plays, but all 4 college basketball plays in one package tonight.
All right, guys, going to be an absolute loaded evening in college hoops. Before we dive into this Ohio State-Iowa game, we'll take a look, of course, at some of the best bets that continue to be on fire here on the show over the last couple of weeks. Another 4-1 evening last night. 25-8-1 since January of the 26. That included wins with St. John's with the win last night. Chattanooga, South Carolina, outright upset with Dave. Matt Josephs, every time, if it's Creighton's there, guarantee it's going to be an over in the first half. And sure enough, it cashes again last night. Unfortunately, my Oklahoma State Cowboys, Cade Cunningham doesn't understand not to shoot the ball with 9 seconds left. Long story. 4-1 evening. It was a great night here for the show, and we look to keep that going here today. Some of the top performers from last night, guys, as we take a look like we always do. This was a game we talked about on the show yesterday, Vatech and Pittsburgh. Some really top performances there. And Missouri got back on track there last night, Ralph, with a win over Kentucky, who just we don't even recognize what this Kentucky team is right now.
You know, isn't it fun when you're watching a college game and 2 college kids go off for 30 each? So that was a hell of a Vatech Pittsburgh game.
Yep, some of the covers from yesterday, too, and certainly St. John's there taking down number 3 Villanova was interesting. I don't know if anybody saw East Carolina doing what they did against Houston, but that was a big cover by 25.5 as a dog. And then look at LaSalle coming and beating St. Louis there. It was VMI and Wofford, another great play by Dave there. It was a good night for dogs there last night, Dave, across the board.
I think it was probably the best outright underdog night of the entire season. I mean, there were a ton of teams that didn't need the points yesterday. I think the favorites might have had a losing record overall straight up. I mean, I don't keep track of that stuff because it's just kind of random, but there were just a ton of dogs that won last night. So we'll see if that continues again tonight.
Yeah, we look to do it. And quick look at some of the totals, overs and unders last night from the action. Pittsburgh and Virginia Tech showing up there as well. East Carolina dropping 82 on Houston. Didn't see that, but that Seton Hall Providence game, we talked about it also here on the show. We knew it was going to be Seton Hall had to win that game. Boy, did they win it, but 39 points under was a little bit crazy. And Ralph, Alabama, LSU, everyone expected 160 or more points. Never got there.
Well, you know, we've talked about Alabama on a couple shows, and Alabama, everyone talks about their offense, but it's their defense that that can play very well. When they want to play defense, Alabama can play. You know, they're a top 10 or at least top 20 defensive team in my mind.
All right, guys, let's dive into the 4 games on the card here today. Our very first game up, we're going to go to the Big Ten because this is a big game between the number 7th ranked Ohio State Buckeyes taking on, well, now the 8th ranked Iowa Hawkeyes, and this is going to be good. I'm excited for this game. Iowa, though, opens up at 5. I've seen 5.5s in this one. Total opened up at that 157.5 mark. And Marco, let me start with you here. Ohio State getting hot at the right time here. This number is interesting to me. How do you see this working out?
Well, Joe, when you look at this one on the surface and look at the way Ohio State is playing, and Iowa, who's been one of the best teams all year, recently lost 2 in a row, and then in their last game, win and doesn't cover. Ohio State looks pretty attractive as an underdog, but I'm not going to go that way. I think the 2 losses back for Iowa when they lost to Indiana, just a inexcusable loss at home. Indiana not playing well this year. I think they had a carryover or a hangover effect in their second game after that. We talk about losing a game twice. I think that's what happened with Iowa. They got back on track against Michigan State. They won and didn't cover. And I really like taking a good team off of a performance like that. They just got back in the win column. They didn't quite get the number, and so we're getting a little bit of line value with them. I think the public is going to gravitate to the live dog, Ohio State. I'm not going to go there. Iowa, 20-6 against the spread at home the last 2 seasons. And Iowa, we talked about them winning and not covering last game. Well, after a game where they failed to cover the spread the last 2 seasons at home, they're 8-1 against the spread in the next game. I'll go ahead. I'll take Iowa and lay the points tonight in a big one in the Big Ten.
Yep, seeing even a 6 or 2 pop up now. Also, Dave, how do you see these two teams matching up on the court tonight?
Well, that's the key here. Is as well as Ohio State's been playing, I'm not sure this is a good matchup for them, because the one thing Ohio State doesn't have is that real big stopper on the inside. They're a very athletic team, and obviously playing great basketball. But I'm just not sure that Liddell, as good as he is going to be able to handle Garza. Garza went off on this team last year, and might do the same thing here. He's a handful for anybody. But I think this is one of those games where Garza could be really, really tough to handle. And if Liddell has to focus on the defensive end, that might take away from his offense. It looks easy to back a red-hot dog here who's in great form. But as Marcos said, that's sometimes public dog's not the way to go. And I think the public is going to be on Ohio State. But for me, it's more a matchup than anything else. And I have a feeling that the matchup here favors Iowa. Not on my card. Didn't even come close to making my card. But I would lean to the Hawkeyes.
Maybe that's the biggest weakness that we've seen, Ralph, from Ohio State, their ability to defend the interior here. They're allowing over 50% inside that arc there from certainly a 2-point range. So how do you see these two going out of here tonight?
Well, I can really cross off all my notes that you had me go after Dave. Thanks, Joe. Let's see. 6'7" Liddell against 6'11" Garza. Not a good matchup. Towns, the Ivy transfer, is probably 6'8", 6'9", but he's really only been playing 15 minutes as well. So, I do think it's a bad matchup as well. So I do lean Iowa. I will bring up this point, though. If Ohio State has a lead late, they are a great team to live bet. They are in the top 20 as far as free throw shooting. They have the number 1 free throw attempts in the country with 322 attempts. They're number 4 in free throws attempted, number 1 in free throws made. They are an excellent free throw team with 4 players shooting 75% or more. So lean Iowa. If Ohio State has a lead, you can live bet them with the lead. They will hold that lead at the foul line.
Interesting enough, too. I think this is the shortest number we've seen Iowa at home this year as a favorite. So definitely some respect in that regards to Ohio State, but it's going to be a fun game. And Ralph, so I don't have to hear you bitching and moaning the rest of the show, I'm coming right back to you. We're going to stick in the Big Ten here, and you're going to tell us about Minnesota and Rutgers here. Rutgers opens up as a 6-point favorite in this matchup here, Ralph, against Minnesota. Total is 138. At least that's how it all opened up. How do you see these two teams matching up tonight?
Well, if you read the Minnesota papers, all Richard Pitino talks about is, we lost our momentum, we lost our momentum, we lost our momentum. Well, let's see. You won 3 in a row to beat Michigan State back on 12-28. And then you lose a game, you win a game, you lose a game, you lose a game, and then you beat Michigan. So, their last 5 games, they're 1-4. They had that little break in there. They had a week break and a lot of guys not practicing and a lot of walk-ons practicing. So, they still have had issues with COVID and a couple guys missing practice here or there. It hasn't shut down the team, but that for me is the perfect team you want to fade. Those teams that are struggling without a couple guys, but are practicing maybe once a week and are still playing games, now having to go on the road. The last 5 games, Minnesota has shot 36.8%. They've allowed 48%. Rutgers' last 5 games shot 44%, allowing 39%. And, with Minnesota, it's how Marcus Carr goes. But Rutgers has more offensive people that can shut down Carr and do some scoring. I like Rutgers. And I like the under as well. I'll throw that in.
You like the under as well, too? Okay, I was just going to say that number looks to be creeping up here, too. I'm seeing 140s on the board. And, Marco, let me come to you. This is now, I guess, the second game on the road here that Minnesota's going to have to deal with. This is the first game between these two teams. How do you see it playing out tonight?
Well, Ralph was spot on with the last 5 games of how bad it's been for Minnesota. But as he pointed out, they haven't played on a normal schedule. They've had those gaps in there. This will be the first time in a couple weeks where they're going to play a game back, on a normal schedule with days in between. So I think you're going to see a better effort from Rutgers. And although they are 1-4 in the last 5, they're 5-5 over the last 10. And if you look at it, this team has been feast or famine. The games that they have won, the 5 losses have all been by double digits. The 5 wins, 4 of the 5 wins were as underdogs winning outright. So this team can surprise a lot of teams. Now, Rutgers all of a sudden looks like they put it back together with 3 wins, but one of them was against Indiana. And as I alluded to, it's a down year for Indiana. Northwestern, they got a win on the road there, but they were the favorite in the game. And then, the Michigan State game there in the middle, Michigan State's just not good this year. So I'm not completely sold on Rutgers being all the way back. Prior to the 3-game winning streak, they had a 5-game losing streak of their own. I'm going to take a shot here with Minnesota that they're back on the normal schedule. I expect a better performance from them. I'll grab the points here. I see this as a 1 to 3 point game. Either way, I'm getting 5.5 here. I'll go ahead and take the dog.
Yeah, you can't help but to look at the free throw shooting here of this Rutgers team here, Dave. They've been streaky all year long. They're up, they're down, they're up, they're down. They seem to have put it together. Do you trust Rutgers in this spot as a favorite?
No, I think the line's too high. But I can't play Minnesota. 0-5 on the Big Ten road by 19.6 points per game. They have not come close. 27 at Illinois, a dozen at Wisconsin, lose to Michigan by like a million. 25 is what the final margin was, and it wasn't that close. Lose 15 at Iowa, lose 19 at Purdue. They haven't won a single road game all year, so I can't play them. But I mean, it's just the line's up to 6 now, I believe it is.
Yes.
I can't lay 6. 5.5, I guess it's 5.5. Market seems to be. I'll put it this way: the sharper side in terms of the money appears to be Minnesota, but I don't want it. I have nothing of consequence on this game. I'm not even going to take a guess.
All right, Minnesota Rutgers here, guys. Do want to remind you before we talk a little Cincinnati and Temple here tonight. Want to remind you, of course, at WagerTalk.com right now. Marco, he's got himself a 5% play up in college hoops tonight, available at his page. And, of course, Dave, he's got a 3-pack of college basketball games right now, just $29 if you head over to WagerTalk.com. And, of course, Ralph, you heard him. He's got a 5-pack. He's got 5 games on the board here tonight. Now would be the time to jump on, guys. Get a 3, 7, heck, even a 30-day all-access package to all of these gentlemen here. Never miss a play. 30 days as we are in full swing of college basketball here tonight. Let's talk Cincinnati and Temple here. And Dave, I'm going to come to you first here. Cincinnati, they haven't played since January 10th. They've only played 10 games this season, and they've had limited practice time in this. Cincinnati opened up as a small favorite here. It does seem to have gone the other way as Temple has gotten all the money at this point. Can you back a Cincinnati squad like this in this situation?
No, they're not very good. I don't know why they opened as the favorite, to be honest with you. They're 3-7. That's more reputation than anything else. Obviously, they've lost to some quality teams. But the other negative for Cincinnati is that they haven't played since January 10th. Teams on breaks of more than 2 weeks are just over 40% ATS for the season. So they have not performed. We're starting now to have enough games in. It's not a small sample anymore to make an assessment. And it is that, and obviously it's not every game. Everyone's different, but the teams that have had to endure long breaks have performed poorly more often than not. And you've also got Temple coming off a very bad performance against Tulane last time out. That was a big bounce for Temple. They were coming off a terrific game against Tulsa and went out and laid a complete egg against Tulane. I lean Temple in the game, but and I know I mention this all the time. You kind of missed the good number, and to me, you're getting hammered in terms of value with Temple now the favorite in the game. So it's a no play for me, but I would lean Owls.
Yeah, Ralph. I mean, the Owls have played 6 games since Cincinnati last took the court here. So current form has got to come into play when you look at this game, no?
Well, Temple coach Aaron McKee thought they really would play better. Remember, just before that Tulane game the night before, Temple legend and college basketball legend John Chaney had died. So the players had a meeting about it. And, although none of them had played for Chaney was still a vital part of that organization. So McKee talked about how he thought they might start flat and then bounce back, and they didn't. They allowed Tulane 50% shooting. Well, now the kids have thought about it. They're wearing a coach patch starting tonight for the rest of the season for Chaney. They let a bad Tulane team shoot 50%. I think Cincinnati's going to start out slow. I do like the under in this one.
All right, going with the under in that one. And Marco, how about you here? Is it as simple as give me Temple or pass kind of thing?
Can I bitch like Ralph because I had to go after him and he had all the same things I was going to say?
Oh, please do. Please do.
The situation, and I'm going to take it a step further, the fact that Cincinnati hasn't played in so long, I do expect them to be a little bit rusty coming out of the gate. So that would tend to lean towards the under as well. And the stuff he said about Don Chaney, that's exactly where I was going with this team tonight in this play. He was a legend in college basketball, but what was he a legend for? The matchup zone. And they allowed 50% shooting in their last game. Now, you look at the previous games to that, they allowed, going back 4 games back, 32%, 31. They did have a 47 in there, and then they 40% in that big win against Tulsa. I'm looking to the under in this game. They didn't have time to really be mentally prepared with the news of Don Chaney passing the day before. Now they've had a couple days to think about it. As Ralph said, they're wearing a patch. I think you see an intense effort out of Temple, and I think that's probably why you saw the money come in. 1, the line was wrong, but 2, I think a lot of people are going to subscribe to Temple to win one for the coach. But again, his legend on the basketball court was that tenacious defense. And I think that's what you're going to see tonight. I'm going under in this one as well.
I'm looking at the first half. It's a pick 'em in the first half. Temple at home. It's, woo, okay then. Let's get, I don't know what else to say about that. Let's go to Arizona and Utah here, guys. This, to me, is going to be a very fun game here tonight because you've got a Arizona team who you kind of scratch your head and say, okay, what are you playing for? And you got a Utah team who has been playing very well as of late. So once again, in order to avoid the bitching and moaning, I'm coming back to you, Marco, here. Arizona opens up as a small favorite, 2.5. Also opens at 143.5. You have been a supporter of Utah in the past on this show, certainly when they play Colorado, and it's been profitable. How do you have them tonight against Arizona?
Well, I'm going to go that way again. I like them here. They've won 2 of their last 3 games. They lost the middle one in there, and it was a game at Washington. It was a tight game. They lost by 4. But the key here is you just don't know what you're going to get with Arizona. This is a spot where Arizona, they had the 2 games against their rival, Arizona State. We thought they'd show up in those games, and they found a way to win those games. And then they lost the game after that. Who would have thunk it? After beating your rival in a season that doesn't mean anything, they had a flat spot against Stanford. They come back with a big win off of losing as a 9-point favorite. So, yeah, they did what they were supposed to against California. Now they're going on the road to Utah. I just don't see them being excited for this game. And, guys, if you want to look at a little stat, Utah over the last 3 seasons, when they're coming off an outright win as an underdog against a conference rival, over the last 3 seasons, it's only happened 6 times. They're perfect 6-0 against the spread. I'll go ahead and take Utah. I think they're a live play tonight against Arizona.
Dave, Utah's playing well. They're at home. They play better defense at home. So how do you see this happening tonight?
Well, I mean, I have no idea what Arizona is going to do because they're in that. They're not going anywhere. Okay, they can't play in the tournament this year, and like Auburn, which was in a similar situation, you have to try and figure out when they're going to really want to play. I'm not so sure this is a spot where they want to play. The flip side of it, though, is they played 4 Pac-12 road games this year and they've won them all. So it does seem, if you want to read something into it, that they're getting more intense performances in their road games and relaxing at home. They have not played well at home. But I don't trust them here. So I guess I lean Utah, but there's no possibility I'm going to do anything for money in this game. And this was an easy pass for me.
The total, Ralph, has come down a little bit. Utah, not exactly one of the faster-paced teams in college basketball, and they play solid defense. So how are you looking to approach this game tonight?
Yeah, but the Utes have still gone over 4 of their last 5, Joe. And there's not many teams that can play back-to-back-to-back road games and shoot 55, 51, and 50%. So, you talk about offensive efficiency. But I like Arizona here. Sean Miller has talked several times in the papers about addressing the team not going anywhere and motivation. And he clearly said, listen, we played Arizona State back-to-back games. We were completely flat against Stanford. Then we played Cal and we played well. Now we're playing Utah. He is very excited. He is starting Kerr Kriisa for the first time this year. Kriisa is a Lithuanian player, actually an Estonian player who's a true freshman who played for the Estonia Men's League and beat Lithuania this past year. This kid is supposed to be something. He's been practicing. He had to miss 70% of Arizona's games. This is the first game he's eligible. He's going to start him tonight. He talks about now having 3 point guards. He does have him on a pitch count tonight, playing him 15 to 20 minutes. But he basically said, turn on the TV to watch the first 10 minutes of the game and watch this kid play ball. So he's excited. I think that brings excitement to the offense. I like Arizona and the over.
All right, Arizona and the over here tonight, guys. And again, we're going to go ahead and get to the best bets in just a second. But do want to remind you, Ralph, he's got 5 plays ready, locked and loaded at WagerTalk.com right now. You heard Dave tell you earlier he's got a 3-pack of plays in college hoops tonight, just $29. You can head over there and get them. And Ralph, loaded with a 5% college basketball play tonight. He is ready. All 3 of these gentlemen, 3-day, 7-day, 30-day, all-access passes. Probably the best way to go, guys, especially heading into this weekend. Every play, every sport, all yours. You can get that set up, too, as well by heading over to WagerTalk.com. All right, so a 4-1 best bet night last night here on the show. Our friends at the Gold Sheet, they've got a best bet here tonight, too, as well. So we'll go ahead and go over those plays for you one more time. And this is an interesting one, and I thought of you here, mostly because I know you picked this game. But the Gold Sheet folks are going with Eastern Washington here, and this will also be available at Ralph's Twitter page that you can go ahead and grab that also, Ralph.
Yeah, at Cal Sports TV, I post the plays. They lost the last couple because I know when I look at my Twitter responses, people let me know every time the Gold Sheet play of the day loses. But again, it's only one of multiple plays they write up. Eastern Washington, again, it's the kind of team that you don't mind laying points on the road because they are one of the fastest-paced teams. They are top 25 in terms of tempo. So Gold Sheet has Eastern Washington as the play of the day. You can read the write-up on my Twitter page right after the show.
All right, let's get to it here. Best bet time. And, Marco, we're going to come to you, my friend. What game did you get circled here? Which way are you pointing us tonight?
Well, Joe, it's a game that we already talked about, but when I talked about it, I talked about the side, and that was the Ohio State-Iowa game. I'm going to talk about the total for my best bet in this one. And on paper, Joe, you look at it, and you see Iowa. They're the number 2 scoring team in the country. There's only one team that scores more than them, and that is the number 1 team in the country, and that is Gonzaga. So on the surface, and Ohio State can put up points as well, on the surface, this looks like this should be a track meet. But I have found way too often when you get two good teams like this, and they're both ranked in the top 10, that it's going to go opposite form. And I think because this is a big game in the Big Ten, I like to use a phrase a lot of times in football and stuff, that this is going to be played like a playoff game. Well, I think that's the atmosphere you're going to see tonight in this one with Iowa and Ohio State. And I also have a stat for you in this one. This is not a team stat, but rather a league-wide stat. In college basketball, when you have, and this is over the last 5 seasons, when you have a total where it's between 150 and 159.5, as we have tonight in this game, we're looking at 156, 156.5. And after a combined score of 155 points or more 2 straight games, and the team is returning all 5 starters from last year, which is Iowa. They did return all 5 starters. This stat has gone under 64 times and only over 34 times league-wide the last 5 years. Now, that's a 5-year sample size, and you look at it, you've only got 98 times that the play has come up over 5 years, but it's been a solid under. Give me that angle. Give me 2 top 10 teams battling for position in the Big Ten, and not only position in the Big Ten, but this is a type of game that puts your resume, in fact, for whenever you have the selection committee later on looking for seeding. This is a big game. I'm going under in this one.
All right, going under, and I love it. All right, Dave, where are you taking us here tonight, my friend? What's your best bet?
Well, the Mountain West Conference is not a balanced league this year. The top 4 teams are absolutely kicking the snot out of everybody else in the conference. The numbers, as of today, top 4 teams, which would be Boise, San Diego State, Colorado State, and
Utah State.
Utah State. When facing anybody else, 27-1 straight up, 22-6 against the spread.
Damn.
Good luck, Wyoming. Colorado State's off a bad game. They played great against Boise and then laid an egg in the rematch. This looks like a good matchup for them because Wyoming can't stop anything defensively. And I think Colorado State won't have to be as 3-point crazy as they normally are. And they'll be able to get the ball inside and do some damage. It's not, look, there's no love lost here between these two teams. It's a good rivalry, but it's not what it usually is in terms of home court advantage because there's nobody there. So I think Colorado State just goes on a little drive to Laramie and comes away with an easy win tonight. I'll lay the points with Colorado State.
Love that play. All right, Ralph, all the games here, I'm trying to look of any teams that are listed at 300 or greater. Where are you going? Where are you going with tonight with us?
Joe, I got a boring Big Sky play. Sort of a contrarian play. You know, Montana State is 6-0, leading the Big Sky. Weber State is only 4-2 in conference play. So why is Weber State laying 5 or 5.5 points? Folks, it's because Montana State has played nobody. They played 3 of the bottom 4 teams. They've swept them. It's an absolutely fake 6-0 Big Sky record. When I have a better team looking up at a team in the standings, it is a powerful motivator. State number 1 in the Big Sky effective field goal percentage on offense, number 1 in the Big Sky effective field goal percentage on defense. They take care of business tonight.
All right, love that, man. Everything's coming towards Weber State there in that one. All right, the game I'm going with today, there were 2 games that was a head-scratcher. We talked about, of course, Temple and Cincinnati, but the other one is this Washington State getting 12 points, taking on Oregon, a team that has played once in the last 26 days, guys, and that game was against Oregon State. They were almost a double-digit favorite and lost there. They've only had 5 practices in between there. It's been a terrible go of it for this Oregon team. Washington State beats a much-improved Washington team last time out. I think they can keep this game close. I'll take the points. Washington State taking on Oregon tonight. And a recap quickly, guys, of those best bets. Ralph Michaels, boring. Weber State there, 5.5. Koken going Colorado State, lay the 8. Marco likes the under in this Ohio State-Iowa game here tonight. I'm going to go Washington State. Give me the points. Eastern Washington laying a whole lot. 15 in that game with our friends from the Gold Sheet. And don't forget, guys, WagerTalk.com right now. Ralph, 5-pack of games available at his page. Dave, he's got a 3-pack tonight in college hoops. Just $29, guys. And Marco has got his 5% college basketball play. Nobody has been hotter this year than Marco, guys. Unbelievable. Now would be the time, guys, for you to head over to WagerTalk.com. Take advantage of those 3, 7, 30-day all-access packages. Never miss a play. Get all 3 of these guys. Invest in them. They'll invest in you. We'll all count the money together. So on behalf of Marco and Dave Koken and Ralph Michaels, I'm Joe Raineri. Guys, please hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner. Make sure you hit subscribe. More importantly, make it a profitable night with your plays and come back and join us tomorrow as we do it all over again. Best of luck. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Each and every Thursday, sportsmemo.com goes back in time, and you can get daily pick packages priced for only $5. And yes, for those wondering, that includes any 5% best bets normally priced at $30. This is the real Throwback Thursday. As an added bonus, all first-time customers will be credited $25 in wager bucks after those initial $5 purchases. So each and every Thursday, make sure you go to sportsmemo.com, get your favorite